Hello friends and welcome back to Easy Dentistry. Today's topic is on shedding of deciduous teeth. But before starting today's topic, what you got to do. Please subscribe to our channel and hit on the bell icon, and also share these videos with your friends and help them in their studies. In this lecture we will be studying about the definition, pattern, histology, mechanism and clinical consideration of shedding. Now let's start with the definition. The human dentition is made up of two sets of teeth, the primary set and the secondary set. The primary set is called as deciduous dentition, while the secondary set is called as permanent dentition. As the age advances, the deciduous dentition is replaced by permanent dentition. Now, what is the definition of shedding? The physiological process resulting in elimination of deciduous dentition is called as shedding. Now let us have a look on the pattern of shedding. During shedding of deciduous teeth, there is resorption of the roots of the deciduous teeth. This resorption of root is caused by the pressure exerted by the permanent tooth underlying it. The pattern of resorption is different in different teeth. Let us see how. For example, in the case of incisors and canine, initially the permanent tooth is present lingual to the deciduous tooth. Later on, as the process of shedding continues, this deciduous teeth comes to lie in the apical region of the permanent teeth, and when the forces are exerted by this permanent tooth, it resorbs the deciduous tooth and comes in exactly in the place of deciduous teeth. Sometimes this apical repositioning does not occur in some teeth. Most probably this does not occur in the mandibular anteriors, as a result of which the permanent mandibular anteriors, they erupt lingual to the deciduous anteriors. Now, what is the pattern of resorption in the molar teeth? In deciduous, the deciduous molars are replaced by permanent premolars. The resorption first begins on the inner aspect of the roots, because the premolars are formed between the roots. This initial resorption occurs long before the shedding of the deciduous molars. This area of initial resorption is replaced by deposition of a cementum-like tissue on the roots. As the process continues, the occlusal movement of the premolar occurs and the premolar comes to lie between the roots of the deciduous molar. Due to this, the premolar get adequate space for continued development, and the pressure which was exerted in the first stage is relieved from the roots of the deciduous molar. Now, as the process further advances, what happens is the premolar start resorbing the root of the deciduous molar. You can see here it starts resorbing the roots of deciduous molar, and finally when the resorption process is complete, the deciduous molar, it is shed off and the permanent premolar comes and lie in place of the deciduous molar. Now, coming to the histological part of the shedding, the cells responsible for the removal of dental hard tissues is called as the odontoclast. Let us see how is the structure of this odontoclast. Suppose this is the resorbing surface of the dental hard tissue. The odontoclast, they are attached to this resorbing surface by the help of ruffled border. Now, these odontoblasts are multinucleated giant cells. You can see multiple nuclei which are shown by purple circles. These are multiple nuclei. And The ruffled border is present adjacent to the area to which is to be resolved. Now this ruffled border has extensive infolding of the plasma membrane. These these infoldings are about 2 to 3 micrometer deep and they contains mineral crystals in them. Now just adjacent to the ruffled border, below it is the zone which is devoid of or there is absence of any cell organelles, and this is called as the clear zone. The clear zone is devoid of organelles but they contain another important structure. These are the actin and myosin filaments present in the clear space. These actin and myosin filaments help in the attachment of the cell to the resorbed surface. Now, below the clear zone, there is a zone which contain numerous mitochondria, which are shown by red circles, and blue hollow circles, which show the presence of vacuoles. The odontoclast can resorb all the dental hard tissues including enamel. They are derived from the monocyte, and here we will study two molecules associated with the odontoclast. First, there is the presence of HLA-DR positive cells. This HLA antigen is the histocompatibility antigen. These HLA-DR positive cells are the cells which have HLA-DR receptors on the cell surface. These cells are found adjacent to the odontoclast during the active process of root resorption. Let us see how. This is the tooth surface which is getting resorbed. These blue cells are the odontoclast cells, and these green cells are the HLA-DR positive cells which are in presence in association with this odontoclast. What is the role of these HLA-DR positive cells? The HLA-DR positive cells, they activate the cementum forming cells on the tooth surface. These HLA-DR positive cells, they form the cementoblast-like cells on the tooth surface, and these cementoblast-like cells then lay down a layer of cementum-like tissue on the resorbed surface. Now another important molecule in association with odontoclast is rank L expression. Now, in the teeth undergoing resorption, the periodontal cells, this is the tooth undergoing resorption, and this is the periodontal ligament of that tooth. In the periodontal ligament of the tooth undergoing resorption, the cells express rank L antigen. Now, these blue cells are the cells which show the rank L expression. This rank L expression increases the number of odontoclasts, and these odontoclasts finally results into resorption of the tooth. Hope this is clear. Now, what is the location of odontoclast in the resorbing tooth? There are two locations. Firstly, on the surface of the root. On the surface of the root, you can see numerous odontoclasts. And second location is in the pulp chamber and the root canal of the resorbing teeth. In the pulp chamber, these odontoclasts are in the predentine region. There is dispute among the researchers. Some believe that the odontoclasts are present only on the root surface, while the other believe that the odontoclasts are also present in the pulp chamber. But mainly in the single rooted teeth such as incisors and canines and the the single rooted teeth shed before the root resorption is complete, so the odontoclasts are mostly seen on the surface of the root. Whereas in multi-rooted teeth, the roots are resorbed, the crowns are also partially resorbed, and here in the multi-rooted teeth, we can say that the odontoclast may be present in the root canals and the pulp chamber. Now, where in the pulp chamber and the root canal the odontoclast is present? These odontoclasts, they replace the odontoblast layer present in the pulp and thus initiate the resorption. Now, the process of tooth resorption is not continuous. There is a phase of repair. This repair is achieved by the cells which resemble the cementoblast. The cementoblast-like cells, they lay down a layer of collagenous matrix on the resorbed tooth surface, and on this collagenous matrix spotty mineralization occurs. Mineralization occurs in small spots, and this results into formation of cementum like tissue. Now, this cementum like tissue which is formed is maybe of acellular variety or the cellular variety, but the fibers which are present in this cementum like tissue are compulsorily the intrinsic fibers. No extrinsic fibers are present. What is the function of this cementum like tissue? It holds on the tooth until the time of shedding comes. Now let us see the mechanism of tooth shedding. There are two factors which influence the shedding. First is the pressure exerted by the tooth below it, and second, the forces of mastication which is applied by the growing muscles. Now let's study about the first factor. Suppose this is the tooth to be resorbed and this is the erupting permanent tooth. The pressure exerted by this growing permanent tooth activate the odontoclast cells, and these odontoclast cells which I have shown in green dots, they start the resorption of this deciduous teeth. So let us see how exactly these odontoclast cells initiate the resorption. There is resorption of the hard tissues like enamel, dentine and cementum, and also soft tissue of the tooth such as periodontal ligament and pulp. What happens is, during the process of resorption, if this is the surface to be resorbed, the odontoclast cell, it gets attached on the tooth to be resorbed by the help of its ruffled border. Now this ruffled border, it seals the resorbing surface, and a micro environment is created. This ruffled border pumps out protons and it decreases the pH at the resorbing site, and thus there is dissolution of the minerals and resorption of the hard tissue takes place. Now coming to the second factor, the forces of mastication. As the age advances, the muscles of mastication, they increase in size, and the force exerted by these muscles also increases. This force causes resorption of the root. Coming to the clinical consideration, sometimes the process of shedding is not completed and there is the presence of deciduous teeth remnants in the jaw. Most commonly it is in the second premolar region. This is because the deciduous second molar tooth is curved, and the mesiodistal diameter of the erupting second molar is less than the mesiodistal diameter of the erupting root. So sometimes the remnants of these roots could be seen in the jaw. Secondly, there is maybe presence of retained deciduous teeth, mostly in the upper lateral incisor region. This may be due to absence of the permanent tooth. The third clinical consideration is the presence of submerged deciduous teeth. Sometimes trauma occurs in the developing tooth, as a result of which the developing tooth fails to erupt, and due to this the teeth gets ankylosed within the jaw. The neighboring teeth, they erupt normally, but the traumatized teeth do not erupt. This results in the formation of a submerged teeth. Now the quiz time. The first question: cell which is responsible for resorption of dental hard tissue is called what? The second question: cementum like tissue formed during resorption contains which fibers? So here we complete with the chapter of shedding. In the next lecture we will be studying about the deciduous about the eruption of teeth. That's all for now. See you soon. Please subscribe to our channel and happy studying.